Welcome back, everybody. I'm here with Om, and we're excited to chat with you about getting your first clients. Now, trust me, there are gonna be some really good, juicy takeaways from this too. We wanna help you get your first clients, but to jump past all of the problems and the issues that we've come into, and we wanna make sure that you hurdle past those things. So if I were a service provider and I was brand new and I had this vision board and I had this thing, I was like, okay, this is what I wanna do. I'm really excited about, here's my niche demographic, but I don't have any clients. What do I do?
Building a portfolio is probably step one. With your dream client in mind, you're gonna wanna create a portfolio piece that looks as good as the designers that are working at Adidas or Nike. So Tip Hatfield, most famous for doing almost every single one of the Air Jordan lines that came out. Your work needs to look as good as his if you even want to think about working at Nike. So again, if your niche market is doing shoe design or being a physical therapist, then you're going to want to create a body of work that shows your clients exactly what it is you can do.
Yeah, I remember at one point, I used to always show people your website because you had all these cool, crazy creatures on there, and I would throw you design work for album covers.
Right.
And then one time I hit up a client and I said, check out this website. This is the person that you got to work with. And he hit me back and he said, did you give me the right website?
Right.
And I looked it up, and you had taken all your amazing art off of there. And it was just this one specific design style. And then a month later, you were working for Google.
Right.
So what was that all about?
Targeting your portfolio, in this case, targeting my website. You're gonna be sending, as a designer, dozens of iterations of your work because you wanna work with specific companies or organizations or brands or people. What I wanted to do was work in the film industry. So I had these fantastic conceptual creatures for films and video games. And so that's what my website was housing. And people were able to recognize the types of work that I was doing. And then you referred me to these clients, and I was able to create album covers. And so then my website and my portfolio showed album cover because that's who I wanted to target, because that's where I was getting money. And then at one point in time, it was logos. So here I'm getting logos. So here's my logos, here's my logos, here's my logos. And people can come and say, hey, I want a logo. Hey, I want an album cover. So those are the different sections I had. And then when I had the opportunity for somebody to refer me for a Google project, that obviously took the highest priority. Everything else fell directly to the bottom of the seafloor. Anything and everything that I have that looks like Google is going right up at the top. During that month process of figuring out that Google was actually interested in working with me, I immediately dove in to what was known as Google's Material Design Bible. I read it front to back. I took notes on the very specific style called Material Design Illustration. And every single day while I was at your house, I was learning Adobe Illustrator. I was learning the material design illustration aspects. And I was practicing at creating a piece of illustrative art every single day. And every single day I was posting that right up on top of my website to show them, hey, I have experience.
It reminds me of like a resume. When you want to get a job at a restaurant, you change your resume up versus when you want to get a job at an office, you change your resume up.
And you said something previously, you don't necessarily want to fake it till you make it. I would argue that point because where I've got to where I'm at is a result of me just taking on work and letting my clients believe that I knew what I was doing, because I had that much faith in myself that I could accomplish whatever it is I wanted to. That's how I learned logo design. That's how I learned web design. That's how I learned material design for Google. That's how I learned how to do album covers and t-shirts, learn softwares. You can learn anything. People will basically be paying you to learn. Right? Haven't you had that same experience too?
Definitely, yeah. One of my musical autobiographies, the one about me thinking I was going to fall in love with the cheerleader but falling in love with music.
Right.
In that, I literally told the PE teacher, yes, I know what to do.
Right.
And then she left and I freaked out and was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
But it forced you to do it.
It forced me to do it. It put a time frame on it.
Exactly.
Yep.
If you were highly set on seeking out the best of the best, like the best ideal dream client. This comes from Napoleon Hill's Outwitting the Devil. You just have to sit back, close your eyes, and go through your mental Rolodex of contacts and think to yourself, okay, who do I know that might know somebody that can get me in contact with the person I want to work with? It's highly likely that you'll find somebody in your phone or on Facebook or on the web who you can reach out to present your portfolio to work with. Assuming that you know who your dream client is or your ideal company is that you want to work for, you're going to stalk them on social media. You're going to follow them, and you're going to try to reach out to anybody who's a part of that organization so that you can get a meeting with the boss of that company. And even if there's no job openings available, just you showing interest and passion in the company will usually be enough to get you in the door. But this is very important, and I've witnessed it firsthand, is that if you don't know everything about the company and about the person running that company and about the CEO running that company, they're going to kick you out of the door. So in my case, I wanted to work with a renowned designer in Hawaii who owns a fashion label, and they didn't have any job openings for a long time because they were barely selling things. They would mostly do pop-ups and they would sell out immediately. So I stalked them every single day on Instagram. And then one day they had a post that said, we're going to be at a job fair, come by. So within the next hour, I created a portfolio with curated designs that I had done that were along the same vein as the type of fashion and artwork that Mauna Ola was creating. I took it with me on an iPad and I drove over to the job fair, and he had these stunning models standing in front of him, and I just walked right by and I said, hey, my name is Daniel. I love your company. I love your designs. I love your philosophy. I'd love to show you my work. And I opened it up. I just let him skim through it. He said, oh yeah, I recognize that. Well, that's nice. Amazing. And I sat back and I said, tell me a little bit about yourself. And I just listened for what felt like an hour. I really sincerely, attentively listened to everything he had to say. And him sharing his vision with me and me holding that established a rapport and a trust almost instantaneously. And to end that meeting, this goes back to Joel Bauer, who's a success coach who turns your passions into profit. He holds the world records for the coolest business card. It's a pop-out business card. When you open it, he pops out like this, and there's all sorts of things going on in the back. I created my amazing, memorable business card. I had a bracelet with the tiny letters on it that said eternaleyesdesign.com on it. And I had this golden bead, which was part of my grandma's old necklace that I had on it. And I pulled it off my arm and I said, here, that's my business website. Contact me if you want to work with me. And it was on him. It was so beautiful that it's a business card you can't throw away. You're not just going to toss that. It's like you want to keep wearing it because it's so beautiful. I came in with a handshake and left with a hug. And then it was less than a week later that they contacted me and said, hey, I love how confident you are. I love that you created something that we could remember you by. Love your portfolio. Are you willing to do some work?
Just to recap one more time, figure out who that person or that company is that you want to work with, research them, stalk them on social media, get in person with them as soon as possible, have a curated portfolio that's directly related to them or similar, give them something that is so memorable that they can't forget, like, Ohm's business card bracelet. How brilliant is that? And just you have that super optimist mentality, then things are just going to work out for you. Excited for you to tell me a little bit about your successes, your challenges in the comments below, and follow this process, because you can watch it and you can fantasize about it, but if you don't actually stand up off your butt and go do it, then nothing's going to happen. Hey everyone, I hope this video was really helpful to you in getting some really clear strategies on how to get your dream clients, how to build a portfolio, how to target your portfolio toward that dream client, how to target your website toward that dream client, and to get paid to learn along the way. Now, in the next video, we're going to help you level up from where you are now into getting a few retainer clients so you can stop worrying about the next client or the next paycheck that's coming in and relax knowing that you have one client or two clients that are going to auto deposit money into your bank account every single month. You won't have to worry about anything anymore when it comes to money. Just focus on your life and your traveling and living the life that you want. That video comes out next Wednesday. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe and watch that video 1 week from today. I love my life, and remember, no regrets on your deathbed. Talk to you soon. So Bill.